we've been having a great day. I guess it's officially now afternoon. So we have been having a great afternoon so far. Dr. Kim was here. It really got us fired up about our relationship with God and how we can take it to the next level. And then Patience told us that, you know what, when you have a setback in your life, it doesn't have to be a situation that you stay in, that with God's grace, we can move forward. And now I'm excited to have you with us because I know that there are some people in the audience that are listening that are realizing I need to look at some other options. And you've been able to be very successful in building an online business. And so your journey, your story, and I've got the pleasure of knowing what your journey has been like, and we'll share that with the audience. But thank you so much for making time on a Saturday to be here with us. Now, I wonder, did you get a chance to hear from any of our other presenters?
I was listening to Patience, and first of all, can I start by thanking you, because without you, none of us would be here today. And I'm going to actually invite everybody to give Coach Tam a shout out, because I know if you're here, she has touched your life. So let's celebrate you for a minute for bringing us all together under the name of God and Jesus and our calling, our higher purpose, because I feel the energy from what you girls have already planted here today. And I'm so excited.
You're pumped, right? You're ready to do it.
I'm so pumped. I'm ready to go. Let's do this thing, right? Look at all your lovers. Kudos to you, girl.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I've got to share with the audience, I actually haven't known Shannon all that long, but we were connected actually through Shannon's husband got us connected, and there was there's some kind of energy right away, and then next thing you know, we're on a call weekly and we're praying together over our businesses and masterminding and talking about God and all kinds of stuff. So I'm excited about this time so that other people can have the opportunity to get to know you as I have. It hasn't been long, but it's been a pleasure getting to know you. I appreciate your support, your encouragement, and having someone to grow with. I love having people in my circle that are like-minded and that are looking to go to that next level, and you are a part of that circle for me. So thank you for everything.
Yeah.
So let's get this party started and talk a little bit about growing a business in a downturn. I mean, you and I have talked about this a lot. This is a time that is challenging for many people. We both know people that have said too much, that there's a lot going on. I cannot handle this. But our perspective, and I know your perspective, is that this is a good time, that if we have the right perspective, that we can turn a down situation into a positive situation. So family, those of you that are listening, I want you to know that you have two choices here, right? And I talk with my clients, you're going to be like, okay, here we go again. But yes, you're going to hear it again. I believe that there are two choices. When things happen in our lives, we can either react emotionally or respond thoughtfully, all right? React emotionally or respond thoughtfully. Now, some people have taken me to task on this react versus respond, believing that they are the same. Here's my philosophy. I believe that reacting, if you really think about that word and what it typically is associated with, tends to be a less thoughtful situation. It's, something has happened, and it's the first thing that comes to your mind, or it's what's instinctive for you. And what I have learned in my journey, and am still learning, because I'm still getting coached and mentored, and I still have friends that I work with, like Shannon. We're still leveling up. We're never going to be done, right? What I am learning is that sometimes the first thing that comes to my mind is not the best thing to say. The first thing that comes to my mind is not the best thing to do, because it may feel good in the moment, but down the road, what I'm going to reap from that is not positive. On the other hand, when we respond thoughtfully and prayerfully, let me add, then we're taking a step back, as Dr. Kim and Patience have taught us. we're taking a step back and we're looking at the situation. We're trying to discern the will of God on what should I do next, which means that it may take a little bit of time, right? It may take a little time, a little bit of processing, a little bit of prayer to figure out what that next step is. I believe that this is a season where we need to respond thoughtfully and prayerfully to what we are seeing. It's not just about the fact that we're quarantined and we're staying in place. It's what's my next? And Dr. Kim kind of talked to us about that, right? Yeah, there is a global impact, and there are things that we need to take note of as a community overall, but there's also an impact for us. I want you to be thinking and praying about what this season is meant to do for you. I have seen in my life, you agree, Shannon? I've seen in my life, he's always a multi-purpose God. There's not like, hey, I'm just doing this for one reason, right? There's an impact, there's a ripple effect. He's like the most efficient ever, right? So he's able to impact so many people through one experience. And as Dr. Kim shared with us, he may not have created this experience, but he's certainly going to use it. And I believe that he's got Romans 8:28 is true. He's going to use it as our good. But guess what? We have to be willing to partner with God in that process of using this experience for good. And that means that we've got to respond and not react. And with that, Shannon, let's get this party started. You know, I know that you run your business, although I operate in a brick and mortar and online, and now we're doing more and more online now, right? As a result of the situation that you're in, that you operate 100% online. And I know that that is going to be an attractive option for some people that are listening today. But before we get into that, I want you to share with the audience what inspired you to actually make the decision to focus on an online business.
Woo! Gosh, you just dropped so many truth bombs in there. My head is spinning right now. So let me try to ground myself and figure out, like,
family, this is what it's like every Thursday. Every Thursday, this is what happens. We drop bombs on each other. And, yeah.
So for me, okay, so the truth is, like, I have a lot of energy and I get really excited because I get very passionate. But the truth is, I'm actually very introverted. So to do a business online is really comfortable for me. It gives me freedom. It gives me the ability to do it where I want, how I want, when I want. Like, it puts me more in control, right? And so I have had a brick and mortar before, and I've done that, and that's lovely too. I love in-person touching, but truthfully, like, I know I have a calling to reach a massive amount of people and make a big impact here in this one lifetime that I get today. So going online opens that up. So I'm not only being able to serve the people that are right here near me, but I can go out to the broader, bigger world. And that's really exciting.
Yeah. So you're not limited. You can go anywhere. You can work with anyone, anywhere. So those of you that are with us today, I know we have some people that are not here in Charlotte, even though Shannon is in Charlotte with me. Her opportunity, what she's going to be talking about today, and some of the principles that she's going to talk about can apply for your life no matter where you are. Now, I want to talk about, you know, this company that you're with, and we won't get too deep into that because we did talk about, you know, kind of talking overall about why an online business is a good option, right? But talk to us a little bit about why you decided to go with the company that you went with. What inspired you to work with them?
So I work with the first and only mental wellness company, and we focus on the gut-brain axis. And coming from my own world of trying to be on my own natural healing journey for anxiety and low energy and brain fog and stress, when this showed up for me, this was truly a prayer answered. This was the missing link for me. And I knew it was the missing link for so many people that are humming along in average when they know that there's more in them, there's more for them, and that they are stuck in this world of, like, my energy can't keep up with my purpose. And so when I discovered this company and I heard that it's the next upcoming in the health and wellness industry for the next 10 years, I knew we were onto something, and I went all in. And the other thing is, it was important that I could go all in to do it online because, like I said, I wanted to be able to bring this out globally because mental wellness is now more important than ever. As everybody noticed, like drop below, like drop in our chat right here if you guys know that mental wellness is so important. Even Patience was saying it, right? When she got her healing on, she got her clarity on, and then she got to go to work, and then she got to live her life purpose and bring it out, right? So that is why I joined the company I joined, to bring those things to the masses.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm excited. I'm excited about what your company is doing. We've had many conversations about the fact that it takes everything. It's not enough to eat well and exercise. You've got to work on your mindset, and you've got to make that spiritual connection. So we're on the same page about that. So let's talk to the audience about, this time. Now, I'm not a mind reader, but I've got to believe that some people out there, if they haven't already made a decision to start a business, might be thinking, I don't know if this is the right time. They're hearing everything that's on the news. They're seeing things in their Facebook feed about the economy and where things are. But your perspective may be different on this. So I'd love for you to share with the audience, do you believe that now is a good time to start an online business? And if so, why?
I believe it's the best time, right? So as we are all shifting to this new norm, look how many people are coming online right now, right? Like I believe this whole pause, I call it the global pause, is for opportunity to figure out where your house was built on sand and where you need to secure it up. So this is an opportunity, and building online is it's the future, right? It's how people want to interact and actually purchase. Like, where do you do most of your purchasing from? You're online, you're Googling, you're searching, you're Netflix, you're Amazoning, right? So, and I will tell you, my business is in growth mode right now. So it hasn't slowed down. And there's a couple of reasons why. One, because I've been building online. So this is not new for me, right? Like, I was building online for a couple of years before this pandemic hit, but also the solutions I offer are for mental wellness. So people are looking for that. They are looking for an opportunity right now, and they're looking to feel better right now.
Absolutely. I can echo that 100%. I have seen that people are craving, they're craving developing a better mindset and being able to learn how to manage their emotions in this situation that we're in, right? Because it's such a shift. For many of us, life has completely changed, whether you are, working or running your business from home, or you're going out as an essential worker. Life still looks very, very different for all of us. So there's definitely a need, and there's, at this time, perhaps even more interest in this because of the situation that we're in. So it's exciting that your business is continuing to grow. And I see that we have, I've got a question. So let's pause and grab this question, because I think this is a good one, and then we'll continue on. Funzo says, I see a lot of online opportunities, but at the end of trying some, it results in a scam. How do I know or clarify if an online business is legitimate? Whoa, that's good. That's good. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I don't think the word scam is right, but I do believe that you have to do your research, right? It feels like a scam when it fails. So I think it's about being empowered to know what are the right questions to ask when you're joining an online company, right? When you're joining a team, because this was not my first company that I joined. I'm actually with my second company. In my first company, I went all in, not asking questions, because I aligned with the mission of the company and the products, which were great. But I didn't ask business questions, right? We're business owners. You must ask business questions like, what is your growth rate? What are your systems, right? It's a business. So what systems do you have in place? What are my opportunities, and what's happening in your business? Because I didn't ask those questions, and I got stuck there for 6 years trying to figure this all out. So there could be a high fail rate, which feels scammy, right? But there are questions to ask to make sure that you're empowered when you are making your decision.
Yeah. And I know we're going to talk about that a little bit more. So, Franco, I hope that answered your question. And we're going to, I promise you, we're going to put a pin in that. We're going to come back to it and expound on it more. And if it doesn't fully answer your question, Franco, I want you to come back to us and let us know, because we do want you to walk away with the answers that you need. Let's talk about another thing that I hear often. Some people that are with us right now are blessed to still have a full-time job that they are earning an income from. So they may not necessarily be looking to run, 100% all in. This is 100% of what I do, but there's still an opportunity for them, right? Why would there be a benefit to considering an online business as a part-time, or sometimes we call it a side hustle?
So I believe that it is to fill whatever your gap is, whatever your need is. I believe smart business is having multiple streams of income, not just one, right? Like we're seeing right now, plan Bs are more important than ever. Like, if
Amen.
Right. And if people didn't have a plan B in place, now is a great time, right? The foundation, like if there was no plan B, now is an opportunity to be like, okay, do I want a plan B? What does my plan B look like? What do I need that plan B to fill in my personal life? I believe it's all really personal, right? So I started this business because I wanted freedom, but I also wanted reoccurring income. At the same time, I wanted to be able to serve the greater good and be working alongside with God in helping people to feel better and become empowered, right? So I was looking for something that would fill all those needs. So it's a personal question, right? But yeah, people come in to fill their gaps. Like, so what is your gap and what does it need to do? People might start to get a second stream of income, but they really might not even love that first stream of income. And so they build out the second stream to ultimately replace the first stream that actually is not bringing them joy and love and energy. So it really is to figure out, like, what is it that you need? This is an opportunity to figure out, what do you need? Because now is the time. Now is the time.
I love that. I love that. We've got to talk about this a little bit, because you mentioned that for some people, their full-time may not be their source of joy or energy. So I know, you can let me know in the chat if that resonates with you. But even if you don't, I know that there are people out there that can greatly identify with that, right? You're going to a job, or even for some people could be running a business that they do not fully love. So it is important, right, Shannon, for there to be some energy and joy in what you do. We talk about all the time that we would still do it if we didn't get paid. Now, we still need to get paid, okay? Right. Because we do have a life, right? But we would still do this because we love doing it so much. So talk about, from your perspective, why is that energy and that joy in what you do so important?
Energy is everything. So at my core foundation, that is my gift. That is my understanding. I think, live, react, pursue in all things energy, because without energy, nothing really matters. If you have no energy and you have $1 million, it doesn't matter. Like, everybody's had a day without having energy and they're like, I don't care. You could be in the best relationship. You could have the best job. You could have the most money. But if you don't have energy, you are not living your most vibrant life. So it's like checking in to be like, is it giving me energy or is it depleting my energy, right? So I actually got started in this industry because my husband was in a job up in New York that no longer gave him energy. So you know what happens when you don't have energy, when you don't have passion and inspiration? You're really tired. You go into brain fog, you're tired, you're lethargic, which spirals into all the other things, the unhealthy eating, the numbing, all of it, right? So it is super important. It's the first step, is like, what is it doing for your energy? Because at the end of the day, Tam, the only reason we are here is to take care of our energy. And that is 100% on us. That's our responsibility.
Yeah, we've got to manage that. I like to say that there are some things that only God can do and some things that only we can do, right? We still, as patients talk to us about, right, we are still the one that has to make the choice, right? He can create opportunities for us. He can bring people into our lives, all of these things. But at the end of the day, the choice is up to us. So we have to actually choose to do things that align with our energy. And it may not be that you can drop everything and do that 100% right now. But what's great about your opportunity is it allows people to get started. And then as their business grows and their income grows, then they can transition from, something that was part-time to something that's full-time that aligns with their energy. Yeah. Sometimes it's a process.
It's always a process.
Yeah.
It's always a process. So just start somewhere, right?
Do it now. Do it now.
Do it now. That's our mantra. Yeah. It is the hashtag tagline. Yes.
I know, right? I think we should put that in the hashtag today.
Well, somebody brought up something really interesting about how it's called the acts, right? Like God will give us the opportunity. God will show us the divine appointment, but it is up to us to act on it, right? You don't get the appointment and get to sit back and do nothing. We still have to take action into it. And it's the discernment like, oh, that is for me or that is not for me. And then it's my responsibility to take the action if it's a yes. Oh,
that's so good. That's so good. Yeah. I mean, and that is why we are here today, right? Family, is that we recognize that there are this is all of us, right? This is all of us. We have things that we've been thinking about. We've been, maybe I should do it, right? But now God is saying to us, as Shannon is reminding us, God is saying, now is the time. No more procrastinating, no more putting it off. It is up to us. The opportunities are there. The windows are opening, but it is up to us to act, to step into those opportunities. And that's going to require faith. We talk about this all the time, right? Everything isn't laid out. And even though your company has great systems and great processes, and we'll talk about that put in place, there are still some things that we have to figure out as entrepreneurs, even for you, right? Even though those systems are in place. So we still have to operate in faith, trusting that as we get going, that God is going to give us what we need to accomplish the mission that he has placed in our heart. So let's talk a little bit about money, because a lot of times when I talk to people about entrepreneurship, one of the barriers is the amount of money that it's going to take for people to get started. Talk to us about, are there ways to get started with little cash? And if so, what does that look like?
That is such a great question, right? Because really money is probably on the forefront of most people's mind. It's like one of the highest energies out there, and people have the most disrupted relationship with it. So such a great question. And I think we'll circle back, and I forget, Fonzo, is that how you say her name? I think this is going to bring this, Fonzo, yes. So I think it's going to bring this full circle, okay? So the other reason for doing an online business is like, it's a low startup cost and a low overhead. So people can get in, for not a lot of money, like maybe a couple $100 of an investment, right? Which is really, when you're buying a business, not a lot. If you were to buy a brick and mortar business, let's say you look at a franchise, you're in it for, 6 figures minimum, right? To just get the foundation, right? So there's a very low startup cost to this business. And that's also why there's a very high fail rate at this business, because people don't invest a lot. So when the going gets tough, because you are an entrepreneur, like things are going to get tough, right? Like you have to problem solve, you have to pivot, you have to do your self-work. And when they go tough, people will quit on themselves, and they will quit on themselves because they'll be like, oh, it was only a couple $100. I'll sacrifice that to go back into comfort zone. So there is a high fail rate because of a couple things. Either the systems weren't in place, which we talked about earlier, or because people will quit because they'll be like, I didn't invest that much, so I'll opt out and like stop. So it is a low startup cost, which is like the upside, but it can also be the downside, right? What you value. So yeah, if you put $100,000 into your business, you bet your pretty little butt that you're going to show up.
Figure it out.
You are going to figure it out, right? So to answer your
You're absolutely
question,
right.
it is a very low startup cost, which is attractive and which makes it accessible to everybody and anybody. And we all start the same playing field. So the potential is open for anyone.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you talked about, the overhead expenses that honestly I have for operating a brick and mortar. You don't have to worry about those things with online. So it makes it very attractive for someone right now who's looking to get started. Let's
One more
talk
thing,
about
Coach
doing.
Tam.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sure,
That
please
is
do.
really important if people are considering, should I go into business for myself or should I not? The tax write-offs are amazing. So people don't really talk about that side of things. So where tax write-offs will help you, you can save up to $10,000 a year in taxes by having a personal home-based business, right? So it offsets some of that money. So all of a sudden you're already in the green, just starting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely important. I know for me, being able to write things off is helpful. Absolutely.
Right?
That's
I mean, how much do you love that?
Yeah, I do. I agree 100%. You mentioned this earlier, Shannon. Let's talk about doing the work, right? So even though your business is very systemized and there are a lot of best practices in what you do, it doesn't take away the fact that it is still a business. You are still an entrepreneur and you have to do the work. So what are some things that you would recommend someone think about before launching an online business to think if this is for them?
Do you invest in yourself? And I don't just mean financially, but like spiritually, physically, mentally. Do you pour into yourself? Because you will only be as strong as you are internally, right? So I call entrepreneurship an extreme sport. Like you are going to, you're entering the field of an extreme sport. So are you prepared? Are you willing to stay in conditioning, do what you need to do for you? Because it is not for the weak, right? Like it sounds glamorous. And it can be glamorous, and the rewards on the other side are what we're striving for, and they're there. Are you willing to put in the work to get there? It's like anything, right? There is no freebies here. Like you don't get that stellar body without putting in the work, right? You don't get the stellar mind without putting in the work. You don't get the six-figure income without putting in the work. So you have to show up for yourself.
Ooh, I love the way you put that though, because that is truly what's different about this, right? Is when you are working for someone else, you are showing up for them and you're getting a check. But what entrepreneurship challenges you to do is show up for yourself, because what you and I know is that if we don't show up for ourselves, there is no income, right? So that's what's different is you have to have that discipline of being able to show up for yourself, that self-motivation, that drive. But I know that's not it. So talk to us about some of the skills, mindset, habits. What have you seen to be essential? What does a person need to really rock the business the way you do?
Woo! Well, first of all, we're the mental wellness company. So our products align with helping us get energy, focus, and clarity. So right off the bat, I'm like already equipped, right? So what I put into my body is really important because I know that's going to take care of what I project out. The other thing is I don't do this by myself. Like there's a reason I've like grabbed onto you and I've been like, let's hold each other because it takes support, right? It takes like other growth mindset people to help you continue to stretch and to continue to grow, because it can get uncomfortable, right? And so if you have somebody in your corner that's like, you got this, girl, you can go do this, and helps you to get clarity and helps you to remember like what your mission is and where you're going, right? So who you surround yourself is so important. So important. And the other thing is, let's bring faith back into this. You don't have to do this by yourself. And the biggest oxymoron is we think surrendering is weak, and it's actually so powerful because when you can get quiet and surrender, you will hear your messages. You will hear your next step. You will hear what you need to show up for and what you do not need to show up for. So like you are not in this alone at all, but you have to decide that you want it. First of all, it's always a decision. And then how are you gonna like support yourself and what you're gonna put around you, in you, and above you and below you, all of it.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's so important. And what's interesting, family, I wonder if you hear the connection, like we're starting to develop themes, repeating themes in each of the sessions, right? So what we just heard from Shannon is who you surround yourself with is very important, which is what Dr. Kim talked to us about, right? That it impacts our growth spiritually, depending upon who we are hanging around, right? And what types of seeds they are planting and how they are influencing us.
Yes.
And then Patience talked to us about how her daughter was a catalyst, right? So community can be family too. She's got to have people in her life that are willing to say, because here's often, and this is part of why we connect together too, is sometimes people are so afraid of offending you that they're not willing to confront you in love. Now, I believe that there's a way to do that. You don't have to be nasty in order to hold someone accountable. But in my view, accountability is two things. Accountability is one, reminding you of what you said you would do. So I'm not reminding you of something that I made up, right? I'm reminding you of something that you said you wanted to do. So as long as you still want to do that, I just want to help you get there, right? If your desires have changed, then we just need to change the goal, right? And I no longer hold you accountable for that.
Right.
But secondarily, and for some of my clients, this is going to sound familiar. I believe that accountability, the purpose of it is not so that I always hold you accountable. The purpose is for you to develop internal accountability. What I want to happen is that the coaches and the mentors that I'm working with, my relationship with Shannon, makes me better in those areas so that then I hold myself accountable for what I need to do. I build that muscle within myself. And it doesn't mean that I stop growing, because Shannon, we talked about that we're never going to stop growing, but then I can move on to something else, right?
Yes.
Because
well,
if I don't get this lesson,
Coach Tam, here's the truth. You cannot run from your insides, and you cannot run from your energy. And if you know that you have a goal and you're not hitting it because you're not showing up, you feel that. Everybody knows you feel that, right? And that is like one of the biggest energy leaks ever, is when you cross yourself. Yet we're willing to cross ourselves all the time. So it's how do you show up and stop disappointing yourself, because that's one of the biggest energy leaks ever, right?
Ooh.
And the other,
I know people do that. They got to, in the chat, you got to let me know. It's not showing up for yourself. What, if we're honest, isn't that one of the biggest energy leaks? I know they're going to agree with that, but Shannon, go ahead. You were going to say something else.
Well, yeah, but drop it in the chat if you can relate. Like, you've disappointed yourself, you've lost energy. You're all of a sudden not inspired that day. You're a little tired that day. You're a little less showing up that day, right? But the day you show up for yourself, you're like, yeah, I got this. I did it. I said it. I got energy, and I'm going to go, right? So even coming back again to Funzo. So Funzo, I'm so grateful for that question, because you've inspired so much conversation around this, right?
Yeah.
Is one of the questions I tell people when they want to join an online business, right, is interview the leadership. Who are you joining? Who is in charge? Who is leading? How are they inspiring? Like, what does that look like? Because I was in a group originally where the leadership was not growing and vibrant, and it's not cool to be the smartest person in the room. Like, I wanted to surround myself with like people that were smarter than me, because I wanted to go somewhere higher and better. Like, I didn't want to stay here. I didn't want to cap out. So knowing who you're joining and that they're going to take you places because they've like walked the journey a little bit further, right? And they know where they're going and what they're doing.
Absolutely. Right. There's so many things that we can talk about here. The good news is that lunch is after this, so we could go over a little bit. but here's the good thing though, that a couple of things that stood out in what you said is, I believe that you can learn from anyone, but be careful who you follow. And that's one of the things that you're driving home for us, right? It wasn't the same. The company was good. The products were good, but because the leadership was not inspiring, that's how I'll say it, it didn't work for you. So who you work with is who you're following is also very, very important. And another thing that you said that I think is worth reiterating is if we don't show up for ourselves, we disappoint ourselves. It's a huge energy leak. One of the things that I talk about is the fact that every time you break a promise to yourself, you damage your own self-confidence.
Yes.
So sometimes the reason that we're not confident, because we talked about this, sometimes the reason we're not confident is because of the promises that we have broken to ourselves. It's not what other people have said.
Oh, 100%.
What other people have done. It's because I didn't show up for myself and I know it.
And
right?
I know it.
So that's why it's important for us to start the process of fixing that today and do it now, because we could be responsible for holding ourselves back, right?
Yeah. I got a great question for the audience. Like, let's get them going, right? So what is it that you want to do now? Like, put it in the chat, because speaking it out loud is ownership, right? So like,
I love it.
Share it, because it's in your heart. It's there, right? And if God put it there, he gave you the power to make it happen. So that's what we're here for today, is just to empower people, get you back in the driver's seat, get you back to saying, okay, I have enough. I know enough. Like, there's a lot of fear. Like, listen, I face fears every day. I'm scared every day, but I show up because my why and my mission, where I'm going, is so much bigger than my fear and my ego, that I'm like, I'm willing to go do it. Like, I'm willing to put myself out there on the firing line and not look pretty. But so like, what is it that you want to do, that you know you have a calling to do? Like, drop it here, because we'll hold that space for you. We'll hold it.
Yeah,
like, letting it out,
I love it.
There's power in letting that out.
Absolutely, because once you put it out there, that instantly though helps create momentum, because you have said it, you have spoken it. And I believe, and I know you do too, that life and death is in the power of the tongue. So once you speak things into existence, great things can happen. So a couple of things we're seeing to grow my business with consistency. I want to train other people and motivate others through speaking and teaching to become a leader of visionaries. Wow. I love that. Powerful stuff. Keep it going. I'm starting a website and a blog. Look at that. We are rooting for every one of you. We are standing in agreement with you. And I love something you said earlier too, Shannon, that if God gave it to you, he's giving you the power to do it. You have what you need. Now, one of the biggest lies is that we don't have what we need.
Yeah.
Right? But we do have it, not because of our strength and our knowledge and all that, but we are connected to the source. So anything that we feel that we lack, we can get it from God. Keep telling us, what are some things, restaurant owner, all right, keep going. What are some of the things that you want to do now? We want to stand in agreement with you. Now, Shannon, let's talk about this because you've talked about how, we're not in it by ourselves. When we have that faith connection, we're willing to do the work, and we're surrounded by the right people, great things are possible. So talk to us about, but what does that look like? When I do that, what's possible for the person that really takes that to heart? They're willing to do it now and are committed to leveling up.
Well, I'll tell you, okay, so the only thing between you and that dream is like this false thing called fear, right? But it feels like it has a lot of energy. You got to bust through it. There is magic on the other side. There is magic. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you. But you have to have the courage to like bust through it. And you can do it. It will be uncomfortable for a minute, but the rewards will so outweigh that moment of feeling uncomfortable. And stay connected to this community, or a like community, because we will have your back to be like, you can do this, and we will love you for it. I'd rather see you take a leap through that fear and fall flat on your freaking face, because you still did it, and you're still going to have confidence. Because it's not that you didn't do it. It's that you just need to figure out, okay, I didn't like the way that one went, so I'm going to do it differently next time, right? But if you don't take any action, you're back there behind that, and you're like, I don't know, I coulda, woulda, shoulda. And like, it's an energy leak. But if you take it and you go and you fall flat on your face, it is not an energy leak. Trust me, you have gained energy.
I love that. That might be a foreign concept to some people. I see also there is a next for me. Listening to you has intrigued me for my next level, and looking at online business seems interesting. So you're inspiring some people to think a little differently. Premier business consultant and operational development. I love that. Keep sharing with us what you want to do now. But you're so right, Shannon. It's an energy gain. I can say that, and I know you can say that when we are walking in purpose, it doesn't take away from the fact that, yes, it's work, and sometimes things don't come easy, but the energy that we gain from taking steps in the direction that God has called us, it's like somehow you end up still getting a benefit, even though you are putting in the time and the energy, the progress that you're making. And I think that's another thing that you hit on is, it's not the destination. And that's often where we get caught, is we think I'm only going to feel better when I get to my goal, and I'm making, X number. But even making progress towards that goal gives us energy, right? Because now we know we're doing something about it.
Here's the
instead of sitting back.
You're going to love this word. It's about the transformation.
Oh, yes.
It's about the transformation, right? Like, we are here to continually transform and evolve and upgrade and skill up, right? And it's like, you have to take these steps to be able to get those rewards. And if you don't take the steps, then you don't get the rewards.
That's flat out, right? Yeah, you can't get the reward without taking the steps. We gotta take the action steps. We gotta do it now. Someone else says, investigate an online business. So again, more people inspired to take that next step. So why don't we talk about that, Shannon? For the person who's been listening to you today, they're inspired. They're saying, wow, I thought maybe I wanted to do it, but now that I've heard this, I really want to check this out and take that next step to at least explore whether doing an online business could be good for me. What would be the best next step for that person?
So I actually have a Facebook group, a private Facebook group, where I teach online systems. I show you all my systems. I show you, I gave you a link so that you can share with people about, and maybe you'll put that out in your email blast. Like the 3 top things to look for when you're starting an online business, like what the most important things are. And I learned these by falling flat on my face, people. Like, I didn't do it the first time around, but I was like, I'll be damned if I don't do it the second time around. So
we're going to get it done. That's right.
I'm going to give you the cliff notes right here, right? Like, that's the other thing about who you join. Like, what's your cliff notes? Like, how can you save me some time and energy and investment here? So you can join my private Facebook group. I'm also very alive and virtual on my regular Facebook group, which is just my name, Shannon Boyle, on my private page. Did that answer your question? I forget what the actual question was.
No, that's perfect. Yep. And for the family, I put the Facebook group in the chat. So those of you that want to join Shannon's group, we have the link there for you to be able to act upon. We also will be sending out this information along with the replay. We'll get the replay to you. So you're going to be able to take a lot of what Shannon has shared today, and you're going to be able to take action on it. So check out the link in the comments. You can join that Facebook group right now so that you can get started. Remember, our theme is do it now. Like, nothing's going to happen. Shannon's not going to jump on you when you join the Facebook group. I know her. She's legit. So just join the group to start exploring what that opportunity looks like. Her group provides a lot of training, a lot of direction to helping you be successful in her online business, because she wants you to be successful just like you want to be successful.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
check that out.
Because you have a gift. We want your gift to come out. Like, you have a gift. And this is especially if you feel like you have a gift to serve others. There is no better time. There's no better platform. There's no better way than right now what we're doing. And the other thing is, all of this, you guys, like, no matter who you listen to today, which one inspired you, is it Coach Tam or one of her speakers? If we say this in our group all the time, in our team and in our training, if you just come on and you watch this, it's entertainment. But if you take action, it's transformational. So like, don't just come on to be entertained. Like just declare that you will take one action step today from what you heard. And it can be from any one of the speakers or something that was already in your heart that you've been procrastinating.
I love that.
Just commit to taking action on one thing, because then it only takes baby steps, right? Like one little baby step and a couple baby steps. After time, you can look back and be like, look at the progress I've made. So declare and commit to one piece of action today.
I love that. I love that. I see some people commenting, great information, Shannon. So great. Thank you. Take action for transformation. Man, I wanted to jump out of my chair and run around the condo when you said that, right? Entertainment or transformation. What do you hear for today?
Yes.
I want to hear it in the chat. What do you hear? Is this an entertaining experience for you, or are you committed to starting the process of transformation? That is such a powerful, powerful message, because if we're just here and we listen and we get motivated and we get inspired, what both Shannon and I know, and I think you know it too, is that the tough thing about motivation is it fades.
Right.
It has to be fed. You have to constantly nurture your motivation. So if you're only listening today and taking notes, but you're not committed to taking action, you're not going to get the result that you showed up here for, right? Whether it was to build your business consistently, to explore starting an online business, to become a premier business consultant, whatever it is that you are believing God and whatever God has put in your heart, it can't happen unless you commit to the process of transformation. Don't let this just be entertainment for you. I see some people action now in big bold letters. That's what Don says. We're gonna get it done. We're gonna take action now.
Well, most importantly, I believe in every single person that is on this call today. I believe in you, because otherwise you would not be here, right? You already took action today. You clicked the link, you signed up, you showed up. So that is action, right? So it's like just another step of action, right? Like just one more. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be like, you know, the end all, but it is something. One step will get you somewhere.
One step. Yeah, I love that. We just want you to take one step. Now, Shannon, we're going to get ready to wrap up, but I see a question from Al. Al says, actually, this is a statement. My dream is to be a multi-unit real estate owner who also provides housing for the elderly community. Al, what an awesome mission. And you know what? It's so specific that I feel like that is something that God has placed in your heart to do. You have a heart for the elderly community and you want to support them.
Yeah.
So
hey, Al, can I put Al on the hot spot for a second?
Al is on the hot spot.
What is one action you can take today, right? Like that's such a beautiful dream. So like in your heart, what is the one step God is calling you to do today? What do you have to get in order? What does your house need, right? So like drop it below, because we're here for you, Al. Like we want to see that happen. We want to see that happen.
Yes, yes. And you, Al, just making the decision today to commit to taking something. It can be small. It doesn't, like Shannon said, it doesn't have to be big. And I think that also slows us down too, right? For those of us that battle perfectionism, and both Shannon and I do, we raise our hands. For those of us that battle perfectionism, we can lose so much time trying to figure out the right next step or the perfect or the best next step. And the vision can get so big, right, that we get so caught dreaming that we don't do. But this is about doing. So what is one small step, Al? One small step.
He said he's going to create his business plan. All right, I'm going to take you. Al, you can email that to me or email that to Coach Tam, and we will receive that for you.
Yes, yes. You are doing it, Al. I love it. You are taking action. And I'm praying that others are making the commitment to take action as well. Funzo says definitely taking action towards his transformation. Shannon, I know that you, and this will be for all of our presenters, we will have a tip sheet for each of you based, just a summary of some of the things that they have shared today and that they want you to take away. So we will be getting that to you, but I think it would be great to spend some time kind of hitting on some of those key things with the audience before we break for lunch. So if you had to kind of summarize all of this and put it in a pretty bow based on what we've been talking about, what would be the final words that you would share with the audience?
Okay, so I would say that if you are considering an online business, here's a couple things to consider. Are you looking for a plan B? You know, the upsides are like the low startup cost, the low overhead, the great tax write-offs, the flexibility, the fact that we say that to be modern, you must be innovative. So online is modern and innovative. It's where people want to now shop and look and engage. So that's another upside. You're going to get, I would say, take action and get that tip sheet and click open, because I'll give you the top 3 things to look for when you're joining a company. And then I think, ideally, like, just to give you perspective, like people that I look for to join my team are people that are high achievers that know they're meant for more, but they just can't figure out how to get there, right? Like they just can't figure out their branding or their niche market or their systems. Like that's what I help people do. Like I help people get clarity. Clarity, you guys, is the key, because clarity brings confidence, and confidence brings success.
I love that. I love that. Shannon, thank you so much for being here with us. Family, if you have benefited from Shannon's time with us, I want you to give her a shout out in the chat to let her know that it has been a blessing to you, that you have taken something away from this experience that is going to equip and empower you for your next, whether it's an online business and you're taking that step. Remember that the link to Shannon's Facebook group is in the chat, so you can join that and get started. But even if it's not that, I mean, there's been so many huge nuggets that you've dropped, so many words of wisdom that you have shared. Look at all the people that are sharing. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Shannon. And someone has just taken action. They have joined the Facebook group.
Yes.
So way to go. I think that was Camille. Way to go.
Right.
Sarita's going to take a look at an online business. So you have been impactful and inspiring to all of us. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your friendship.